Quarterly results out this morning from appliance maker SharkNinja, that company beating estimates both on the top and the bottom lines, and more importantly, raising its sales and earnings forecast for the full year. Joining us right now is SharkNinja CEO Mark Barrocas. Mark, first of all, I was kind of shocked to see you beat by so much, but then also to be so confident that you are raising your guidance for the full year, both on sales and in terms of earnings. What do you see that makes you so confident? Because I would have thought you were front and center in this tariff situation. You manufacture a lot of your goods in China. What do you know that you could share with us this morning? Your stock right now, by the way, up by 9.6%.
Well, thanks, Becky. I mean, consumers globally continue to be super excited about Shark and Ninja products. We're expanding into new product categories. We're expanding into more markets. And I think that was on full display this quarter, with revenue up nearly 15% in the quarter. And you mentioned the uncertain times. I think the team has done an extraordinary job. 5 years ago, 100% of our products were produced in China. By the end of the second quarter, nearly 90% of our products will be produced outside of China. So a really big accomplishment that we've been planning for many years now.
Where do you manufacture that stuff? It's not in the United States, I don't think, is it?
No, we've moved most of our production to Southeast Asia, countries like Vietnam and Indonesia and Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, but are looking very seriously as well as to which of our products could be able to be produced in America as we move forward.
But that, again, I mean, manufacturing all of this stuff in Southeast Asia, it's really impressive that you are so confident that you can meet the sales and, more importantly, the earnings guidance. How do you do it? Because those countries are going to be very likely hit with pretty big tariffs, or you think that that's not the case? How do you make it work?
Well, look, I mean, we're playing the deck of cards that are in front of us today. And so, based on what we know with the tariffs that are in China and the tariffs that are outside of China, we feel confident that through a combination of product cost reductions that we've been able to secure over the last 90 days, surgically increasing our sell prices, particularly on the viral products that we have. I mean, we still want to maintain extraordinary value to the consumer, but we also think that we have some products that are able, to raise price on, and we're aggressively managing our operating expense. And let's also keep in mind that an increasingly larger percentage of our business continues to come from outside of the U.S. As we move forward, over a third of our business will come from outside of the U.S. So we see this as not just a U.S. challenge. We think there's cost opportunities and pricing opportunities globally, that we can take for our business.
Mark, I have to say, that is incredibly impressive. If you were able to wring out some cost in your own supply chain and know that you're going to be able to strategically raise prices on some of your items, even though they're selling in places like Walmart, where I know Walmart and other retailers are trying very hard to not let costs get passed on to their consumers, that must mean that you guys really have significant pull with the consumer to be able to manage it along those lines. Am I reading that correctly?
Well, look, I mean, the consumer clearly is under, tremendous inflationary challenges. And I think that, the impact of tariffs will only, pressure that further over the coming months. But, we think the consumer is going to have to make trade-offs, and they're going to have to make decisions. We don't participate in the opening price segments of the category.
Right.
We're in the middle and upper price point segments. We deliver what we think is great value. We think consumers are still going to need to clean their homes. When we actually think in these times, consumers will kind of hunker down and will invest more in their homes, cook for their families, buy beauty products to feel beautiful. And that's really what SharkNinja does.
So kind of like a return to COVID days where people were very focused on the high home items. Did you see a pull forward in sales at all before people worry about prices, or are you below the price point that necessarily that happens with?
Yeah, Becky, I don't think that was that much the case for our types of products. I mean, the average sell price of a Shark or Ninja product is $199, $229. And so I think that, we didn't see much, pull forward as you might see with, larger purchase items.
Okay, that's great. So, Mark, overall, really positive. I guess part of this is you think you're taking market share from other competitors, too.
We do. I mean, and again, not just in the United States, but globally. I mean, our business in Europe continues to grow tremendously. Our business in Latin America has been exciting. We've been expanding. In fact, we just took our distribution back from Mexico, and we're now direct in Mexico and continue to move direct in more markets around the world.